Hello everybody, it's good to be with you again. This is Michael Voss, Dragon of the Southern Tier, here with you on No Soundbites Allowed, and I hope that you're having a great day. Not just because of the weather that finally has become very good for most of the nation, but more importantly because this is May 15th, and that means that New York State is finally reopening, or at least starting to reopen. Just like Germany, just like many states across the nation, we are seeing that New York is beginning its process to reopen its doors. Now that is somewhat of a mixed bag, to be honest, because New York also has had an extension of its stay-at-home orders by Governor Cuomo. He's extended that until June 13th, which is kind of odd if we're trying to get people out and about. But then again, a lot of odd things have been happening because Governor Cuomo has emergency powers. He has been given the right to do almost anything. He is an authoritarian power in New York State, having already changed 262 laws just because he wanted to, without any input from the single-party legislature of New York State, which are all run by Democrats, without having any comment or even contact with the public. He's just made changes everywhere. And we're continuing to see him maintain these emergency powers, quite possibly at least until 2021, although there is no actual known end date, which is terrifying. But let's focus on what's going on with the economy. What's going on with reopening New York and the nation? Well, we see that consistently we're still seeing that the expectation is, or at least in part my expectation, which is similar to that of other economists, is that we're going to see 42 million people at the peak of the unemployment probably within the next 2 weeks. We're looking at probably having long-term effects of that, where we're going to see probably somewhere around 10 to 15 million people long-term out of work because small businesses are closing. And we are seeing this across the nation, and definitely in New York State and even in my region of the Southern Tier. Nationally, the estimate is that there's going to be between 10 to 15% of small businesses that will never reopen their doors. On top of that, in my local region, many regions weren't doing great beforehand, and they're even worse off now. And I believe that we could see somewhere around 18 to 22% of small businesses close forever. Probably closer to the 18% level here in the Southern Tier region. And we've seen large companies like in my region, Maine's and other regions, restaurants that have been around for 100 years, they're gone. The damage has already been done and it's not going away. So this is important. Now, looking at that, what is the answer? Because government from the state level decided this was the way we were going to go. It was the state government, Governor Cuomo, and the other states said, we're going to shut down the entire economy. And we're going to force people to be in their homes as prisoners in their homes through isolation, because that will make you safer. Then we found out that not only has COVID been here from possibly October, but probably since December in the United States, not only did 14% of the population already get exposed and already have COVID-19, and survive, well, they've also figured out in this process that we're going to lose money. New York State is $61 billion in the hole. The fact is that $61 billion isn't because of COVID-19. No. That's about 13, possibly at the end of this, about $20 billion. No. New York State was going to lose $8 billion anyway because we lost $6 billion in 2019, $2 billion in 2018. These are additional losses besides the ongoing debt of New York State under Andrew Cuomo because of bad economic policy. That's already made New York State the 50th least business-friendly state in the nation, and very closely followed by California, which is about 48. Now, you got to think about this for a second. We're asking for $61 billion to help. That's a bailout of all the failed policies, not because of COVID-19, but because Governor Cuomo doesn't know how to run a state. But looking at just COVID-19, it's true. Just in the 60 days that we've been closed, we lost about $13 billion, about $8 billion of it because of the prior problems, and then another $5 billion because of COVID-19. Democrats in Congress, in the House of Representatives today, are looking to go and do the HEROES Act, which is a stimulus bill, which is ridiculous. It's $3 trillion. Now let's really understand what we're talking about here. Under COVID-19, because of it, we have already spent $2.5 trillion in stimulus packages. Now, the government normally spends $4.1 trillion a year. We've already added 60% of that on top of it, which is inflation. That they're long-term, this is inflationary. It hurts business and individuals. But Democrats are looking to add another, by itself would have been 90% of what we spend in a year anyway on top of this. That would make total spending because of COVID-19 in 2 month span $5.5 trillion. Excuse me. Yeah, $5.5 trillion. That's ridiculous. That's over 100% of every dollar that the government takes in a year. This is massive. This is damaging to the economy. This is bad for inflation. It's bad for small business. But the trade-off is you're going to get another check for $1,200, which hopefully will go to buying things so that you can get back into the economy and the economy gets to move forward. The first check was to make sure that you're going to have your home because you were stuck at home. No, this check is to make sure you're going to buy things, and more importantly, because it's the latest check you've gotten, that you'll thank Democrats when it comes to November, and you'll remember them. That's the only reason. The answer is $3 trillion is a buyout for Joe Biden. They are trying to change the story on Joe Biden and give people a reason to vote for Democrats because they gave you $1,200. That's it. Now, the thing is, whether you like that or you don't like that, let's understand something else. There's also, in this bill, a lot of goodie bag gifts to Democrat supporters, and in particular, those people they really find to be important. And surprise, surprise, that's not you. I'm not talking about Me Too and whether Democrats are going to support Joe Biden or Me Too. No, no, no. What I'm talking about is there's $19.2 billion at a minimum, at the minimum, that is going to illegal aliens. Individuals that are not supposed to be in America, are not American citizens, that have actively broken the law and willfully evade prosecution of the law. These people who should be deported, people who should not be here in the first place, who have put pressure on our healthcare system, whether it's because of COVID or anything else, that has helped to cause part of the problem that we've experienced here in this nation, and possibly have brought in COVID because they have illegally entered the nation through various means, like in Venezuela, where mumps and measles is rampant, and they have left that state, that country, to come into America illegally and starting to bring in measles and mumps with it. And if you don't believe me, go to the World Health Organization, look it up. Yes, these are factual numbers. This is what's been happening. And we would expect COVID-19 is also in that process. But we're going to give $19.2 billion to illegal aliens, to give them the money that citizens have received and that citizens deserve, because the government, Governor Cuomo, Governor Whitmer, Governor Newsom, shut down the states and caused people to go out of business. That's the bailout. So let me understand this. That's $19.2 billion that could go to save local businesses, to help small businesses stay alive. Is that a lot of them? No. Let's not mince words here. Is that going to save every small business out there? No. Maybe it would save 1% of the small businesses, maybe 0.5%. But let me ask you, if you're in your local community, like mine, where we just lost a major national retailer, 400 jobs have been eliminated. 400 people are now permanently out of work. And that doesn't even take into account all the restaurants, the bars, the stores, the grocery stores that are dependent on that one business. It's called Maine's. That one business affects all of those other businesses that now have their own problems and difficulties because of this one business. This is a chain. We are all connected. So I have to ask you, if that $19 billion gave them maybe another month to possibly be alive, wouldn't you want them to have that in your community? Or would you rather have 400 of your neighbors go out of work? But you get to have the joy of knowing that a criminal who is actively breaking the law is going to get a check because they exist. Because progressives in the Democratic Party say, we want to just give them money. Because we want to have open borders and let them come in from countries like Venezuela, where healthcare is so poor that diseases that have been wiped out across the world are now re-emerging and now coming back into the United States. Now, you don't have to agree with what I feel about this. Maybe it's important to you to have open borders. Maybe you're not worried about measles and mumps coming from other countries. Maybe you think that illegal aliens deserve everything that a citizen has, including the right to vote, including the right to become a citizen, just because they showed up. I don't. I don't think that's right. And I have to wonder, why is the HEROES Act, if it's supposed to be taking care of American citizens, if it is trying to help American citizens deal with the COVID-19 threat, why are they creating a path to citizenship? Why are they giving illegal aliens your tax money? Remember, this $3 trillion, it's coming from your pocket. That is the taxes that we're going to have in 2021. That is the new property taxes you're going to be paying in 2021. This is the cut services that you're going to receive in 2021. When your local communities, when your state and your federal government starts to cut, and you're going to lose firemen, police officers, emergency workers like healthcare. When you start losing these people because taxes are going to go up and the government has to pay for all this money they've spent, you get to say, well, at least the illegal alien who isn't supposed to be in this country, who can't legally work and doesn't pay taxes properly like other American citizens do, at least they got a check. If that's worth it to you, okay. But I don't believe the majority of America agrees with you, because the majority of America doesn't want to provide a path to citizenship. But Democrats are. De facto, they are. They are protecting illegal aliens and giving them your money out of your pocket. It is a redistribution of your paycheck. And they hope that when they take your money and give it to a criminal who has no sympathy for the law, no regard for the law, because they are illegal aliens, they hope that when they take your money to give it to that illegal alien, that criminal, that you're going to be thankful and vote for Joe Biden, and forget that Joe Biden is under investigation for seven sexual assaults, and throwing Me Too under the bus, because nothing really matters except the power. Just like Governor Cuomo with his unlimited emergency powers in New York State. Governors like Gavin Newsom and Governor Whitmore, who says you can't buy seeds to grow your own food. You know, I have problems with all this, but maybe you don't. Maybe you think the HEROES Act is exactly what we need. I don't think it is. I think as it is written right now, with its stipulations to protect people purely for political reasons, its attempt to throw in the back door politics that they don't want to talk about. CNBC doesn't want to talk about this. CNN, they're not talking about this. They don't want to tell you this is also in the package. They're talking about, well, you're going to get another check. They're not mentioning, and so is the illegal alien that broke the law and continues to evade the law from your pocket. Well, that's what I have to think about it. And yeah, it's a bit of a rant because I am upset about this. But I would ask you, contact your local congressman and ask them, as I am asking Anthony Brindisi, can you please tell me, you swore an oath, you are obligated to represent the people. Your job, and when I say the people, I mean the citizens, your job is to protect the citizens that voted for you and that you represent, and does giving illegal aliens, people who have willfully and continuously broken the law, giving them my money, your tax money, how is that in the best interest of the public? I don't know if they have an answer for that. I doubt if they will answer it. But we'll find out when we see the vote a little later today. So I thank you, and I hope that you're going to have a great day. As always, please contact me either at the No Soundbites Allowed on YouTube, Voss Political Commentary on Facebook. My Twitter is MV Consult, or of course you can reach us at 607-242-1582. Sorry, forget that number sometimes. And we'll be happy to speak with you. Until the next time, be well.